Onision is dying. No, not literally. Don't put up the party supplies just yet, though. He himself is not dying, but his channel and his reach are. So let's talk about it. So if you open a dictionary and go to the word scum, you'll find an image of Onision. I seriously don't think there's ever been anyone I've wanted to tell to shut the fuck up more than Onision. Anyone who's paid even a minuscule amount of attention over the past couple of years knows that it's plain to see that our favorite poster child for birth control has been on a steady downward spiral for, well, ever, but even more so for the past couple of years. So much so that more attention than ever before has been called towards his shitty behavior and questionable mind state. And that's really saying something because it's always been apparent that he's a terrible person. And I know that all of this Onision being a bad person stuff is breaking news. You can tell just from his long list of friends. But just bear with me here. This video might be a little all over the place since I'm not really focusing on one singular action or incident, but rather the personality as a whole and giving my overall opinion on Greg himself and obviously the decline of his channel. That being said, I will touch on subjects such as his recent wetlands destruction debacle and the ensuing court case. I'm no stranger to drama. Nobody is. Everybody has their fair share, but Onision is on a whole other level. It's amazing to me just how much one can bring down upon themselves and still not realize, or at least try to deny, that it isn't everyone else who's at fault. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone does shitty things from time to time. God knows I have. But at least when I do it, I man the fuck up and acknowledge that I'm in the wrong and try to rectify the situation if possible. Try to better myself. This is the typical response to such situations. Greg, however, does something completely different. He has a different cycle. Remember the content cop iDubbbz did on Leafy where he made the Calvin cycle? Well, Onision has one too. So as you can see, I've taken the liberty of making my own little diagram here. So it starts off by him doing something shitty, be it fucking a 16-year-old or destroying wetlands by his property. Then the shitty things he does blows up in his face. It all just kinda backfires. He then tries playing victim and makes a video or two whining about it, blaming others for his own actions, and nobody really falls for it, except for the gullible fans who only see holy light coming out of the tip of his dick. But as for the rest of the internet, they don't really fall for it. Sorry to say, Greg, but you're not going to manipulate the entire internet. Which brings us to this fourth step here. Now generally this is where anyone with half a brain cell would realize, hey, my approach isn't working, maybe I should stop. You know, maybe I should own up even, maybe give an apology, I don't fucking know. See, this is where Greg kind of deviates from, well, general smarts, I guess. And instead of changing his approach, he just keeps going. So the thing about Onision is that he's always talking about how everyone loves to kick him around, which yeah, we do, it's fun. But the thing is, and what he fails to acknowledge is that it's with good reason that he gets criticized so heavily so often. He does it to himself. He's not simply being ostracized for the sake of being ostracized. He's being ostracized and shoved around because, well, he's a cunt. Now obviously this isn't news or anything. We all know that Greg's a massive douchebag. But somehow he's retained a spot on YouTube for way too fucking long now, to be honest. However, and it's with great pleasure I say this, that's beginning to change. His downward spiral has officially kicked itself into turbo, and he's now pulling in significantly less views than he was before. Let's compare the views he was getting about 2 years ago to the amount of views he's getting on his most recent videos. That's a ouch. As you can see, it's just a little different. He's gone from pulling in on average several 100,000 to 1 million or more views per video to only a few 10,000 per video on average, which is still too much if you ask me. Now as I see things, a major factor in this is ironically the amount of coverage he gets. I say ironically because attention is exactly what he seeks at a constant, and typically when one gets so much attention it draws people in. However, the coverage that Onision gets is largely presented in such a way that nobody really falls for his side. Nobody sees a video on Onision and thinks to themselves, hey, this guy seems alright, let's go check him out. Nobody wants to hear his side of the story because he's been proven to be a cunt time and time again, and as such, where people would usually give him a chance, he's largely exhausted that possibility. Now typically I'd never wish for someone to fail, but our friend Greg kinda fully fucking deserves it. See, my thing is, generally speaking, I like to believe that people are innately good, and I try to see the good in people. Unfortunately, Greg makes it insanely difficult to see him as anything other than the massive piece of cunt he is. From his pedophilia allegations to his yard work, which I mentioned earlier, Greg always seems to find himself with something to apologize for. Thing is that when he does apologize, it always coincides with an accusatory statement or an attempt at justification for his actions, and that's if he doesn't just resort to denying fucking everything. When Repzion called him out on destroying the wetlands near his property, which if you don't know about that, I recommend you go on over to Repzion's channel and watch the videos regarding the matter. I'll leave a link in the description. He didn't really apologize, he did his typical bullshit, and by that I mean he blamed everyone else. Now, I'm not going to show the clips here. Again, if you want to see those or learn more about the matter, it's best to go on over to Repzion's channel and see his coverage for yourself, because he covers it very well. And the reason I'm saying this instead of going into it is because the whole wetlands thing is kind of Repzion's territory right now, which isn't to say that other people can't give their own input, but I'm personally not going to get too much into it, at least not right now. Because pretty much anything that I would want to say about it, Repzion has already said. There's also his countless predatory accusations, which I'd just like to take a moment here to comment. These people that are saying that all of the girls making these allegations against Onision are lying, that the allegations are all false, etc., etc., these are the same people who, when Donald Trump gets accused of the exact same thing, preach about how it has to be true because so many women are coming out about it. It's pretty astonishing. Now, whether or not you support Trump, this isn't about that. It's about the hypocrisy behind the mindset of these people. When it's someone you don't like and there's so much as an accusation, it's automatically true. But when it's someone you do like, half the time you can have hard evidence shoved down your throat and you still won't believe it. So this got a bit derailed from the main point of the video, which is that Onision's channel is dying. Which should come as no surprise to anyone, because when you do so many shitty things and continue such shitty behavior over such a long period of time with no genuine remorse, and you don't make any attempt to actually make up for it or actually change or better yourself, people are going to stop supporting you, as is evident by his current dwindling viewership, and he has, as expected of anyone with fans, retained a loyal following, albeit small, but that's pretty much guaranteed to disappear as well in time when he continues his behavior. You can only fool people for so long before they realize what's up. Moral of the story, I do not like Onision, and I take pride in knowing that this leech is losing his influence and that people are seeing him for what he is. So if you enjoyed the video or just don't like Onision, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that shiny red subscribe button, or if you didn't like it or you support Onision, do the same things, but also leave a comment about how much you love rotten onions. Thanks for watching. See ya.